Good morning. Today we are studying Unit 17, Animal Life in the Past. But at first, we have some vocab. Number 1, succeed in. Succeed in equals pass. Example, Hannah succeeded in the exams, so Dad bought her a new mobile phone. Number 2, die out. All dinosaurs have died out. There isn't any on Earth. Number 3, catch a disease. You should take care of your self-cleanliness so as not to catch diseases. Number 4, have the ability to equals be able to. We have the ability to improve our language by working together. Some language notes. The word 100, 1,000, million. Look at the examples at first. He gave me 1,000 pounds. Dinosaurs lived on Earth for more than 150 million years. We need a few $100. Here, if these words are preceded by a number, like this, or amount like this, these words don't take S, so it's always singular. But we can say hundreds of people watched the match in the stadium yesterday. So if you don't put a number or amount before 1,000, million, 100, if you don't put a number here, you can say millions, thousands, hundreds. But if there is a number, you can't use them as plural, but you have to use them as singular. Number 2, the word by can be followed by gerund. By studying fossils, scientists knew a lot of information about dinosaurs. The word stop plus object plus gerund, or stop plus object from plus gerund. These events would have stopped the sun shining on the earth, or these events would have stopped the sun from shining on the earth. The first, the second, the third, or any of these words can be used like this in around 1850. A scientist called Louis Agassiz was the first person to study the Ice Age carefully. Okay? Today we are studying the third conditional of F. Like, if it hadn't rained yesterday, we might have gone to the cinema. If I had had enough money, I would have bought a car. If Hussam hadn't shouted at Ola, she wouldn't have been angry. So, here we use the third conditional to express the impossibility about something that happened already in the past. So you can't change it. So we suppose what should have been done or what shouldn't have been done in the past. So the form here is if plus past participle that had plus past participle had past perfect would have plus past participle. Let's check more examples to make it clear to you. If I had known the answer, I would have told you. That means that I didn't know the answer and I didn't tell you, so I supposed them. If I had brought my camera, I would have taken a photo of you. But I didn't bring my camera, so I didn't take a photo of you. Here you can change would with the word could, or the word might. Here, if he had been here yesterday, he could have helped me. So if he had been here yesterday, he would have been able to help me. Focus on this point, please. If he had been here yesterday, he could have helped me. If he had been here yesterday, he would have been able to help me. If I hadn't forgotten my library card, I could have borrowed a book. If I hadn't forgotten my library card, I would have been able to borrow a book. If I had forgotten your book, you could have borrowed mine. If I had forgotten your book, you would have been able to borrow mine. If it hadn't rained yesterday, we might have gone to the beach. So it equals, if it hadn't rained yesterday, we would perhaps have gone to the beach. We would perhaps have gone to the beach. So the word would perhaps equals the word might. Ali might have bought that phone if it hadn't been so expensive. So Ali would probably have bought that phone if it hadn't been so expensive. We can use the word unless instead of if plus hadn't here. If I hadn't been, or if I hadn't seen that camera in the shop, we wouldn't have bought it. Use unless. Unless I had seen that camera in the shop, we wouldn't have bought it. More examples. I didn't recognize your cousin, so I didn't say hello. If I had recognized your cousin, I would have said hello. Because my father drove me to school, I arrived on time. So if my father hadn't driven me to school, I wouldn't have arrived on time. Or if my father hadn't driven me to school, I would have been late. I was ill, so I didn't go to work. So if I hadn't been ill, I would have gone to work. I didn't have much money, so I didn't buy that expensive toy. If I had had more money, I would have bought that expensive toy. He couldn't catch the train because he walked slowly. So he could have caught the train if he hadn't walked slowly. She punished her son as he hadn't told the truth. If her son had told her the truth, she wouldn't have punished him. His carelessness made him fail. If he hadn't been careless, he wouldn't have failed. Okay? And exercise, I was ill, so I didn't go to work. When I ask you to use if, yes. If I hadn't been ill, I would have been to work. I didn't recognize your cousin, so I didn't say hello. If I had recognized your cousin, I would have said hello. If he hadn't done the shopping, his wife would have become angry. Unless he had done the shopping, his wife would have become angry. Okay? That's all for the third conditional. Let's see something else here. Language functions giving dates you are not sure of. In around 8000 BCE, people began farming in North Africa. It was perhaps 400 BCE when people started making pots and pans out of clay. Dinosaurs lived about 65 million years ago. We think that they died out maybe 65 million years ago. Write what you would say in each of the following situations. A friend asks you when the first car was made. Here you can use some of these words. You can say, it was perhaps 100 years ago, for example. Number 2, your cousin asks you when your school was built and you are not sure about the date. You can say, it was perhaps in around, about, maybe, any of these expressions. You can say, I think it was built 20 years ago. Your teacher asks you when the pyramids were built. I think they were built 5,000 years ago. Okay, thank you. That's all for today. Thank you very much.